Good day, everyone. We greatly appreciate your interest and time as you join us today for the episode 5 of Masterclass 2024, where we will be exploring the latest features in ServiceDesk Plus. I am Swati, a product expert of Managed Engine Service Desk with over 2 years of dedicated experience in this area. In today's episode, we will explore the latest features of ServiceDesk Plus. We will focus on the benefits of those features and how to effectively utilize them to enhance the operation of your help desk. Regardless of your level of experience, you will find valuable insights during this session. Now, let's move on with today's agenda where we are going to discuss the latest features. So, when we look at the last 6 months, Services Plus has brought in many anticipated enhancements, and I'm sure that some of them, like asset booking, custom modules, and auto upgrade, is making a good impact among our customers. So, in this session, it is dedicated to discuss all those features, and also by the end, please let me know which feature has brought your attention. Now, let's dive into each feature in detail and check how can we get them configured and also what are the advantages of having the same. The first feature that we are going to discuss today will be the chat channel. That is, from the application, we can now create public and private chat channels where we can add both the requesters and technicians to it. I'm going to switch to the application. So when you log into the application, please navigate to the admin section by clicking on the gear icon. If you scroll down, you will have an option chat settings under the apps and add-ons. You can also make use of the search bar to search any of the options available under the admin section. By clicking on the chat settings, please ensure that the chat is enabled. Once this is enabled, you will have three options in the below, which is groups, chat, and channels. Channels is the enhancement that we have brought recently. When I click on channels, I have a plus icon symbol representing the creation of new channel. When we click on new channel, we now have two options, which is organization and the teams. In case if you want to create a chat channel which includes both the requesters and the technicians, you can click on the organization. In case if you want to create a chat channel which contains only the technicians, then you can go with the team. Below, we have two tabs, which is general and permission. Under the general tab, you have an option to give the channel's name and also to upload the icon by clicking on the upload icon button. In the channel description, you can give a short description with regards to this channel. Under the visibility, we have two options, which is public and private. When you enable public, the end users of your organization will be having the visibility and they can join the channel. When you enable the private, the end users will not be having the visibility. Below to it, we have a filter option where we can filter the users based upon the department name, job title, and site. The filter that you choose here and the end users who match this particular criteria will be listed under the add participants list. So by adding the users, you can create the channel. The same configurations will be same for when you create a team channel also, but in extra, you will be having an option to filter the users based upon the support group. That is, you can filter the technicians based upon the support group. Next, we have permissions tab where we have three categories: admin, moderators, and members. So admin, moderators, and members are the roles that you can give to the participants of the Teams channel. By default, admin will be having all the privileges and you can modify the privileges and permissions for the moderators and the members. I have now created two channels, which is one will be the organization and the other one will be the team. In this organization channel, which is regards to the application issue, I have all my end users and also the technician be the part of it. In this case, if my end users face any issues with regards to the application that I have provided, they can make use of this channel to post their queries, and the technician who belongs to the application support group will be answering the same. Also, I have created another channel, which is team network, where I have only my technicians be the part of it for an internal discussion. This chat channel can be made use in many scenarios. For an example, let's take I have a ticket which is going for a longer duration of time and it is not yet resolved. At this time, as a technician, I can create a quick chat channel which includes all the requesters and the technician part of that particular request, and this will be a single point of contact for me to get all the informations and the inputs. By this, I can avoid the back and forth of email conversation and can work on the request in the timely manner. This is about the chat channel feature. Now let's go to the next feature, which is asset booking. We have now brought an option where the end users of your organization can book both IT and non-IT asset for a shorter duration of time. Now let's log into the application as an end user and check how an end user can book an asset. So this is an end user login. Here, when the end user logs in, they will be having an option called as asset booking. When they click on it, the list of products that are available for them to book will be visible by choosing which product they need and also by giving the duration and also by choosing the purpose and clicking on the book, the asset booking request will be submitted. The end users can also track the asset booking request raised by them under the My Assets tab from their self-service portal login. Now, as an end user, we have booked the asset. Let's check what are all the options that are available for the technician to complete this asset booking request. Let me switch to the application as an admin login. Here, when you log into the application, please navigate to the assets module. And in the left side, you have asset booking and asset loan option. Below that, we have in bookings tab. Under the bookings tab, you will have the list of booking requests that is raised by your end user. Let's open one of the booking and check what are the options available for a technician. So here, as a technician, I am able to reschedule the asset booking request based upon the availability. So let's take this particular asset is not available for the period which is specified by the end user. At this time, I can click on reschedule and modify the date and click on reschedule, which will send the automated notification for the requesters regarding the reschedule. I also have an option to email the users directly where I can email them if I have further clarifications on the same. If this asset is ready to be loaned for that particular user, I can tick and mark as ready for pickup, which will send a notification for the user to come and pick the asset. After the pickup, I can also mark as loan, which means this asset is now loaned for the user. I have an option to cancel the booking based upon the availability. So if this asset is not available, I can also cancel the booking. In the right hand side, we can check the status of the booking and the details of the booking request and also the details of the user who raised this request. We have history tab where we are going to record the actions that was performed to this booking request. So regards to this asset booking feature, we also have booking setting tab where we are going to make some of the configurations related to the asset booking request. Here we have 4 tabs, which is product type specification, general, purpose configuration and history. Under the product type specification, we can configure the fields that will be visible for the requesters when they book an asset. In the general tab, I have few configurations where I can modify the dates of maximum days of booking is allowed and maximum days of advance booking. We have purpose configuration where the list of purpose that will be listed for the requester when they raise an asset booking request can be tracked from here. Also, we have an option to add new purpose. We have history tab where we are going to record the actions that was performed to this booking setting page. So if you ask me whether your end users will be able to book all the assets which is present in your organization and the application, then the answer would be the end users can only book the loanable assets. So now, as a technician, it's our responsibility to mark the assets as loanable assets. To do the same, please click on Loanable Assets tab. Here, you have an option Mark Loanable Assets. When I click on Mark Loanable Assets, it lists me the list of assets that are present in my application. So I can choose one of the workstation, and when I click on Save, this asset will be now marked as loanable asset, and this will be listed for the end users when they try to log in an asset booking request. Also, to track the workstations that is already been loaned to the requesters, we have loan registry tab, where we have the list of assets that is given for a loan to an end user, and from which date to which date they are going to use it. And once after they return, we can also mark the return on date and have the track of all the assets which has been loaned to the end user. So this would be very useful in a scenario where one of your employee is provided with a Mac laptop, and what if they are provided with a task for a testing that has to be done on a Windows machine. In this case, instead of assigning them with a permanent workstation again, we can make use of this asset booking feature where they can book an asset, which is the Windows workstation, for a certain amount of days for the testing purpose, and once that is done, they can return back the asset, and we can make use of all the assets that are present in your organization in a very useful way. So we have now seen asset booking feature and how it will work, how to get them configured, and what are the options available for the same. Let's now move to the next feature, which is uploading videos in the solution description. As you all know, all the organization will be recording the solutions of a recurring issue or else the commonly faced issues by the end users under the solutions module. So this solutions module is going to be a knowledge base for your end users to troubleshoot the issue that they are facing and can help them resolve the same. Now let me take you to the application and show you how we can now insert the videos to the solution description. So when you log into the application, please navigate to the solutions module. Here, all these days we might have configured the solution only using the text, but now we have brought an option where you can insert a video to the solution content. When I click on new solution, in the content field, I have an option to insert the videos. I have an option with an icon video which states insert video. When I click on it, I have two options, which is upload from computer and also embed YouTube link. Using the upload from computer option, you can upload a video from your computer. Yes, if you want to use an YouTube tutorial or the link, you can just click on the embed YouTube link and paste the YouTube link, which will automatically embed the YouTube video into the solutions content. Now, I have created a solution for a commonly faced issue in my organization, which is application login issue. When I open the solution, here I have the steps that the end users should follow to troubleshoot the issue with the application's login that they are facing. When they scroll down, they will be able to see a YouTube video. By clicking on it, the YouTube video will be played in a very same page. So visual demonstration and spoken communication in this video will definitely offer the users to follow the steps in a very quick manner and also to reduce the time. Inserting videos to the solution article can thus significantly enhance the effectiveness and can be user-friendly, which will ultimately improve the troubleshooting procedure. Now I have created a solution by adding a video. Let's say one of my end user is facing an application login issue and they have mailed the help desk asking for the help. In this case, me as a technician don't want to type the entire solution that they need to follow. Instead, all I have to do is, once I open the request and click on reply, under the description field, I have an option to associate solution. Using this option, I can associate the solution which is existing in my application. When I click on it, I will be listed with the suggested solution. To view all the solution, I can click on all topics. So now I am listed with all the solutions that is present, and I can choose the solution which my end user should follow. When I click on the solution, I have two options, which is insert solution link and insert solution content. When I click on insert solution link, the solution article link will be copied to the description, which is sent to the end user. And they can access the link, which is directly taking them to the solution article, and they can follow the steps. When I click on insert solution content, the entire content of the solution article will be copied to the description, and I can just send the same, which the end user can follow. By this feature, we can actually reduce the time taken from your technicians to work on the issues for which they already have a solution. So by this, they can work on the other tickets which doesn't have a resolution and spend more quality time in that particular tickets rather than working on the tickets which already has a solution being recorded under your solutions module. This is how associating a solution for a request reply and also inserting the video to the solution content will be helpful. Now, let's move on and explore the next feature, which is two-factor authentication for improved security and privacy. As you all know, we had an option where we can enable two-factor authentication for the users when they log into the application. That is, they will be typing the username and the password, and if the two-factor authentication is enabled, they will enter the code that they receive via their authenticator app, which is the email or else the Google Authenticator app, and they will be authorized to access the application. But now we have also brought an enhancement in two-factor authentication where this will be only applied for the admin configurations. Let's now log into the application and check how we can have them configured. So if you're using an ESM directory, which is if you're using an application with more than one instance, you have to navigate to the ESM directory to find this option. If you're using a single instance, which is a non-ESM setup, then this option will be present under the admin section itself. So when you navigate to the ESM directory and click on two-factor authentication, here we have brought an enhancement to enable two-factor authentication for admin configurations. So when I enable this, this will be applied for SD admins, help desk admins, and org admins. So when your admins are going to perform any actions to the security setting of the application, which is it is applied for general, advanced, and also password policy, you can make this enable as per your requirement. So when you enable this, when all your admins will navigate to security settings, they will be asked to re-authenticate, which is they can enter the code and then go inside and make the configurations and the changes. We also have enable TFA test option where you can configure the authentication interval. If I have configured the authentication interval as 5 minutes, once after 5 minutes is over, the admins will be asked to re-authenticate and perform the actions to the security settings. So, since this has a direct impact on the security and privacy of your application, we can ensure that having your admins go through the two-factor authentication to perform the changes, we can ensure no settings are being changed incorrectly, and this is only done after a proper authentication on a proper node. You can make use of the available authentication method, which is email verification and Google Authenticator, and your admins can re-authenticate and then perform the changes to the security settings of the application. Now, this is about having two-factor authentication enabled for admin configurations. Let's move to the next feature, which is auto upgrade. So all these days, we might have upgraded the application by scheduling in downtime and checking for the upgrades manually. But what if I say we have now brought in feature where by configuring the auto upgrade feature in your application, you can automatically upgrade. The system will be periodically checking and it will be automatically upgrading your application to the security patch. Let me show you how we can now configure auto upgrade in the application. So again, if you are using an ESM setup, which is more than one instance, please navigate to the ESM directory and click on auto update. If you are using a non-ESM setup, you can find this option under the admin section itself. So here, I have an option auto update. Under the auto update, I have two options, which is emergency mitigation and hot swap. When I enable emergency mitigation, the system will be automatically checking for the security patches, and once it is done, it'll automatically send a notification for the users whom we have configured under the users tab. And all they have to do is, once they receive the notification, they have to log into the application and click on update and restart button. By clicking on the update and restart button, the system will be restarted and the application will be upgraded to the security patch. So as of now, we are only supporting this auto upgrade for security patches, and this is only supported for the Windows and not for Linux and HA setup. So HA setup, in the sense, if you have configured FOS or disaster recovery, this option will not be applied. So we have auth swap option, where if you enable this, the minor patches which do not need an application restart will be automatically upgraded, and the notifications also will be sent. So there are set of notifications that will be sent for the users whom you configure here, and the same can be viewed when you hover the cursor to the information icon. So we have patch details, where we have the history of the patch which is upgraded. So from which build to which build it was upgraded, and what is the update mode, whether it was manual or automatic, and the status of the same, and the time and the date when this upgrade was made. So by this, we can ensure that, let's take, if you are in a build where your application is affected with a vulnerability that you are not aware of. In this case, if you have configured this particular option, the system will be automatically checking for the security patches and upgrades the application, ensuring that you are in a safer build always. So this will be an ideal way to treat the emergency patching done in your application. So now let's move to the next feature, which is ZIA prediction role. So this is an enhancement which is brought to the AI assistant of ServiceDesk Plus, which is ZIA. So what ZIA will be doing is, it will be constantly learning from the application's database, and it will be training herself to make certain prediction actions in the application. So to check what are all the prediction action which is made by ZIA, let me log into the application. Now, under the admin section, if you scroll down, you have ZIA configurations option. When I click on it, I have the list of predictions that is made by ZIA, which is request reopening, category prediction, template prediction, and approval action. As I told you, ZIA will be constantly learning with the application's database and will be doing this prediction actions. So, what if I tell you that we have brought a role very specific that can be assigned to a technician who is responsible to train ZIA in a very accurate manner? So, to assign the role, please navigate to Admin, Technicians, and please edit the profile of the technicians to whom you have to assign this role. When you scroll down, under the assigned roles, you will be having a ZIA verifier role that can be assigned. So I have already assigned this ZIA verifier role to the technician. And when I click on save, this role will be assigned to the technicians. So now, what are the options that is available for this technician as he has in ZIA verifier role? So now, when that particular technician goes to the request that was approved by ZIA, they will be having an option where they are provided with an thumbs up icon and the thumbs down icon, where if the approval is made correctly, that is the prediction by ZIA is made correctly, they can react with thumbs up, and if the approval, that is the prediction, is made incorrect, they can react with thumbs down. This feedback will be sent to the ZIA data set and will be used to train ZIA very accurately. So instead of all the technicians sending incorrect feedback without a proper analysis, we can make use of this role where only the responsible technicians will be providing the feedback upon a proper analysis, and down the lane we can see the improvement and the betterment in the ZIA's prediction, which can also avoid the incorrect predictions. Additionally, the technicians can also track the request that was predicted by ZIA under the ZIA icon approvals tab. Here it will be listing them with all the requests in which ZIA has made prediction, and they can send the feedback from here itself. So this is about the ZIA verifier role. Now let's explore the next feature, which is custom module, subform, and sub-entity. So as you all know, we have a custom module feature in ServiceDesk Plus where you will be having an ability to build your standalone module as how we have request module, change module, and project module. So let's take if you have one of the operation which is going on in your help desk in a day-to-day basis, and the same you wish to record the same in the ServiceDesk Plus. In this case, you will not be able to achieve that with the existing default modules, which is request module and change module or some other modules. In this case, you can make use of the custom module and build your own standalone module. So here, in my organization, we do provide trainings for the new joiners. And this training is provided by the third-party vendor. In this case, I wish to record all my training details in one of the module within the application, within the ServiceDesk Plus application. For the same, all I have to do is I have to create a custom module. So now I'll navigate to the application and show you how we can configure custom module. So when you go to the admin, please search custom module. And here we have an option to create new custom modules. So we already had web tab and configuration type of custom modules before, but now we have brought enhancement in type, which is we have added two options, which is sub entity and subform. When you create a custom module using the web tab, this will be created as a standalone module, and this can be navigated on the top itself beside all other modules. So this training is one of the custom module that I have created, and the same is populated on the top panel. So when I create a custom module using the subform, I will be having an ability to add different types of field and different records so that this particular subform can be associated to custom module where I'm going to record few details regards to the record that I'm going to submit under my custom module. We have sub entity where when I create a custom module using the sub entity type, I will be able to create a different section, that is the different tabs under my custom module. As we have task tab and work log tab under the request module, by creating the custom modules using the sub entity, I can create my own entity and my own sessions, and I can associate the same sub entity to my custom module. So whenever I add and record to my custom module, I will be getting an individual section under the records. So if you see here, I have created my own custom module, which is training, and this was created using the web tab type. So ideally, this should be accessed on the top panel beside all the modules. I have trainings here. And also, I have training info, which I have created using the subform. Here, I have added few fields that I can associate to my custom module to collect the details and add the record of the same. Also, I have created a sub-entity, which is candidate feedback. So this sub-entity is also associated to the custom module, which is trainings. Now let me access my custom module. So when I go here, I already have a few records. So when I click on add new record, here it is asking me to fill few details, which is batch name, batch number, training start date, training end date, and etc. So all these details are recorded based upon the trainings, and these are the details that I'm going to collect for all the trainings that I'm going to have in my organization. So when I click on the custom module, the record that I have under it, I will be able to view all the details that was filled by the user, which is batch name, training start date, everything. I'm going to record this under the details tab. So if you see here next to the details tab, I have candidate feedback. So this is something I have achieved using the sub entity. As I told you, using the sub entity, I can create my own section and I can create my own tabs and make it associated with the custom module. So here, I'm asking my trainers to give the feedback of the candidates who attended the training. So they can click on new to add the record, and under the candidate name, I have the list of users present in my organization. So they can choose and they can give the feedback here. And by clicking on add, the feedback will be added under the candidate feedback entity. So If you wonder how under the candidate name I have all the users being listed here without adding them manually, this is an automation process which you can use and be very helpful for you instead of you adding an entry very manually for all the entries. So when you go to the custom module and when you had a sub entity or sub form, when you drag and drop and pick list, below you have an option reference entity. So when you choose the reference entity, you will be listed with the available entity in your application. So when I click on users, the users list which I have in my application will be automatically populated under this pick list. So instead of me adding it manually, I can use this reference entity field to automate the process and bring all the users details under the users pick list. So this is how custom module will be helpful, where you can build your own standalone module using the subform and sub entity, and the subform and sub entity can be associated to multiple custom modules and not only single custom modules. So now let's move to the next, which is the change governor. So change governor is a role that we have brought to our change management, which can enhance your change management managing within the ServiceDesk Plus. So by default, we will consider the change manager as the change governor. So now we have an option where the change owner can also be considered as change governor. To mark the same, we need to enable an option under the change configurations. So now let me go to the application. So please navigate to admin and change configurations. In change configuration, the first option which you see is the change owner can be change governor. So by default, change manager will be having all the permissions and the privileges to the change management. It will be having entire access for the change management, and it can make any changes to the changes which is present under the change management module. So now we also have an option where we can make the change owner to be a change governor, and they will be provided with two options, which is change owner can assign the change roles, and also change governors can edit the task across all the stage and statuses of the change. So let's take the change owner will be only having an access for the change in which he is allocated as a change owner. So in this case, the change owner can edit the task across all the stage and statuses, and also you will be having an option to assign the roles to that particular change request in which is playing a role of change owner. So now let's move to the next feature, which is project setting enhancement. So there are few settings that we have brought to enhance your project management. So we will check what each and every project setting is going to do and how it is having an impact to your project request. So please navigate to the projects module. And when I open any of the project, I have a tab which is settings tab. Under this, we have three, which is schedule settings, cost settings, and closure settings. So in the schedule settings, the first option I have is enable strict project management. Milestones and tasks must occur within the project schedule. So let me quickly duplicate my tab and open the details page. So in the details page, we will be recording the schedule start and the schedule end of the project. So now, if I enable strict project management, milestone and task must occur within the project schedule. As I told you, we are going to record the schedule start and the schedule end under the details tab. So the schedules of the milestone and the task which comes within this project should be only within the schedule start and the schedule end of the main project. Next, we have enabled dependency based scheduling, that is modification in the task schedule will impact the task dependence. So as we all know, we can make the task dependent on another task. So here, when I enable this task dependency and if I change the schedule of a dependent task, this will automatically have an impact to the dependent task, and it will automatically change the schedule of the child task. Enable parent and child auto scheduling. Here, The parent is the project and the child is milestone and the task. So if I change any of the schedules to my project, the schedules of the milestone and task will be changed automatically. When I change the schedules of my milestone and task, the project schedule will be automatically changed when we enable the first and the fourth option. Calculate actual time field with respect from respective child task when the parent entity is closed. That is, when the milestone and the project is closed, the actual time field which we have under the details, the actual start and the actual end will be calculated based upon the time which is taken for the milestone and the task. Next, we have aggregate effort estimate of project and milestone from child entities. Here, the child entities means the task and the project and milestones are the normal projects and the milestone. So, the efforts of project and milestone will be automatically calculated as the efforts of task and the system will populate it. We have cost settings where automatically calculate actual project cost from the child entities when the project is closed. So when you close the project, the actual cost field will be calculated automatically from the milestone and task and will be populated. Under the closure settings, we have automatically close child entities when the parent entity is closed. That is, when you are going to close the project, the milestone and the task associated to this project will be automatically closed. Deny opening of project or milestone if the child entities are open. That is, when the tasks are open, you will not be able to close the project and the milestone. You have to close the task in order to close the milestone and the project. And deny reopening of child entities when the project and milestones are closed. That is, if the projects and milestones are closed, the task cannot be reopened. Clear actual end time when the entity is reopened. That is, let's assume the project has been completed and you're going to change the status to closed. At this time, this the actual end will be calculated and it will be populating. But what if you have to continue this project and it was not yet completed? When you go and change it to open again, the actual end will be cleared and it will be automatically populated when you again change the status of the project to close. So when you again reopen the project, the actual end will be becoming blank, and when you again close it, the actual end will be calculated and it will be automatically populated. This is about the project settings, and this is how it is going to give a betterment of your project management. Now let's move to the next feature, which is the last one: first response violated technician and the group. So we have now brought two columns, which is first response violated technician and the first response violated group in the custom module, in the custom reports. So please navigate to the reports, new report, custom report. When you run a report, you now have an option to include first response violated technician and the first response violated group. You can also make use of other columns that you have to fetch the report on, and when you run the report, you will be getting the data on which request was violated by which technician and by which group. By making using of by using this both columns, you can run an effective report and get what was the reason for and what was the reason and which technician and group has violated the first response SLA. And also you will be able to add this report to the dashboard. By this, I can have a proper record and the proper report management to my application, where I'm going to check who has violated the first response SLA. So let's have a quick recap on today's session, where we discussed how we can now create a chat channel and collaborate both technicians and requesters, which is going to provide them a collaborative platform within the help desk to work on the tickets. And also, how an end user can now book an asset for a short duration of time. And we discussed how we can now upload the videos to the solution description, and the end users will be having a good idea on the steps that they are going to perform to troubleshoot the issue. We checked how we can configure two-factor authentication for admin configurations, where all your important and sensitive configurations under the security settings will be changed only upon proper authentication. We checked how we can configure the auto upgrade feature in the Services Plus, and how the security patches will be upgraded automatically by the system. ZIA verifier role, where we can assign this role to the technicians who will be responsible to train ZIA in an accurate manner. And what is the change governor? What does the change owner being in change governor can do to the change request? And what are the project settings that we have brought, and what each setting means, and how this will be having an impact to the project module. And two columns which is added to the reports, which is first response violated technician and the group, which you can use and run the report on the request in the daily basis. I hope this session was useful for all the participants. So yeah, thank you for joining us. So have a great day. Thank you.